Welcome back. Karen Le Billon, the author of French Kids Eat Everything, and yours can too, joins me, and I'm very excited to chat with you because I have a kid who I'm afraid is going to grow up like me with a huge aversion to vegetables. So yeah, I think for parents out there, it's an amazingly interesting book based on the fact that we have a completely different way of looking at food in North America compared to the way they do in France. So tell us, first of all, the premise behind the book. Why did you decide to write this?
Well, the book is about the struggle our family had to get our kids to eat well. They were picky eaters, and the turning point came when we moved to France for a year to live in my husband's small village, hometown on the north coast of France. And that's where my daughters were in school and daycare. And they and I got a French food education, and they ended up learning how to eat everything. We went from eating basically only pasta and Cheerios and fishy crackers to eating beet salad, grated carrot salad, all kinds of fish. By the end of the year, my older daughter was eating mussels. It was transformative. So I did a lot of research, talked to people, got really excited, and ended up writing the book.
So what do you think is the main difference between the way we bring up kids here in North America with food and the way the French do?
Well, the French believe teaching your kids to read and teaching your kids, toilet training them are important. And add something else to the list, learning how to eat. It's as important as learning how to read. So they prioritize it right from the early years. So when your child is basically starting to eat solids, they're already thinking about food education. How can I introduce lots of new textures and tastes? How can I get them to enjoy novelty? How can I get them to be very tidy at the table and manners and enjoying coming to the table? So eating is a really important and fun ritual in the day. And French parents concentrate on that. And then when the kids get to school, there's more education. There's curriculum. There are really fun things that happen at the school restaurant. They don't call it a cafeteria, it's the school restaurant at noon. And then there's more taste training even with the meals they get. They get freshly prepared 3 or 4 course hot lunches, and they get amazing variety. They don't repeat the same thing more than once every month or two. And the cooks put a lot of thought into making sure the kids get introduced to a lot of new tastes. So they're learning right from the get-go.
Right. I think as parents, everybody would love their kids to have a wide variety of tastes and like to enjoy all sorts of foods. But if you have a picky eater, like you had a picky eater, then how do you convince them that, this is good for you, or, this is something that you have to eat?
Yeah. Well, first of all, get rid of the good for you. It's healthy. Go with this is tasty, this is fun. So the French do not focus on micronutrients. They focus on fun tastes. And food is an adventure. Food is an exploration. So kids eat what adults eat, but why wouldn't you want to eat what your parents are eating? Because it's so tasty. And when they begin with that attitude, there's no pressure at the table, so you don't incite that inevitable no response, that oppositional feeling from kids.
Right.
So the battle of the wills that actually we fell into, they avoid largely. There are exceptions, but largely they do. So I was always amazed how the kids come to the table in France. They're enthusiastic, they're excited about what they'll get to eat, and they're very calm about tasting new things. So yeah, so that's the key, making it fun. And that's kind of counterintuitive because we're very anxious about food in North America, and they're not.
And what about if they don't eat? Say, if they just absolutely refuse to eat, is there, do you give them snacks in between, or how do you get around that to make sure they're getting the proper nutrients?
Right. Well, the French approach might seem a little shocking, but they do not allow their kids to snack. They do not short order cook. They do not substitute. You get what you get and you don't get upset. So here's what it is at lunch. If you don't like it...
I like that mantra, actually. That's good.
If you don't like it, well, that's fine. You'll be able to eat at dinner. And dinner will be really tasty, too. And if you're, basically, the parents are not going to allow the kids to fill up on snacks because that allows them to avoid eating at mealtime when it's likely to be more nutritious. And they have a very rigid rule about snacking anyway. No snacking throughout the day. There's only one sanctioned snack at 4 o'clock, the after-school snack. And other than that, nothing. No snacks, no nibbling, no grazing, no rummaging in cupboards, and no vending machines at schools. Nada.
And so what does their after-school snacks consist of?
Well, again, it's fun. So they have a square of chocolate with some baguette and butter, or some fresh fruit, or some yogurt. It's the time of the day when the kids do have their treats. So it's not about deprivation, but it's about moderation. And one way you achieve moderation is you just have one scheduled time when you snack, and otherwise you don't. And you teach your kids it's okay to have an empty stomach. No one wants a child to be hungry, but if you're feeling a little hungry because your stomach's empty, that's fine. You'll just wait until mealtime. It might be in 2 hours, but you can wait. And that was a really valuable lesson for us. And I use it with my kids. You're feeling hungry? Great. We're going to have an amazing, meal. It's in an hour. So, you're really hungry.
As opposed to here a couple of these little goldfish crackers.
Exactly. And I used to panic when my kids said they were hungry and find food immediately. And then living in France taught me I don't need to do that. And they'll survive and they'll eat better at meal times.
Okay. You've also included some recipes in the back.
Yeah.
What was your idea behind that?
Well, so the book is called French Kids Eat Everything, and yours can too. And I figured the best way to start was to get simple recipes into the hands of parents. And so they have very few ingredients, on average 4. They take less than 5 or 10 minutes to make. And there are some French kids' favorites. So there's a baby version of vichyssoise, there's a baby version of bouillabaisse, there's some really great purees with unusual taste combinations, and some great desserts. French family cooking at home is not fancy, it's not gourmet. It's really simple. They prioritize the fresh taste of ingredients, and it's fast and easy because they want to spend more time with their kids at the table.
Right.
So that's also a revolution and a revelation to me. Don't worry about gourmet cooking. It's French family cooking at home, which is actually really fun.
And I think that's something too that we all are losing track of, is the family time at the table. So.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Very nice to meet you, Karen. Congratulations on the book. French Kids Eat Everything, and yours can too. Available now? You
can order it online on my website, FrenchKidsEatEverything.com. You can get a free copy of the first chapter of the book. And come and visit because we're doing a prize draw this week.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, FrenchKidsEatEverything.com.
Visit the website, get a prize. Is it a trip to France?
Oh, I wish.
Darn, okay. Thank you so much. And do you have a signing coming up as well?
We're going to be doing something in September, back to school.
Oh, very good.
So we'll keep you posted.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Karen.